New York City! Clap for your world famous Midtown Comics and feel the power. It's New Comic Book Day. Yes, it is. I'm Henry, and we are here at Midtown Comics. Obviously, it's New Comic Book Day. I am super pumped. There are so many incredible books that are out this week, and I can't contain myself. We got to check some of them out, so let's get started right away. We're going to take a look at some of the brand new books from Dark Horse Comics. This week, they have a brand new series called Bank Shot from Alex DeCampi and Crisscross. It's a really new #1 series, brand new, great experience because you get to see a former Black Ops man who is forced to run against his own reputation as he finds out if he really is as corrupt as people say he is. Man on the Run, really cool book. Of course, we've got the newest issue of Conan the Slayer from Cullen Bunn and the brand new issue of ElfQuest. Fantastic series with a ravenous following. We've got the brand new issue of Joe Golem, the occult detective. Really fun series. And we've got Astonishing Adventures. Really cool series, really fun, doing some fun sci-fi stuff. Of course, it's actually Mass Effect. You gotta love the hoodwink there. Mass Effect has been putting out some great comics to tie in with their most recent Mass Effect Andromeda video game. Really great, really fun series. I know that we have a lot of people here in Midtown that are huge fans of the book and love everything that the property brings. Then, of course, we've got the brand new issue of Rebels from Brian Wood. Brian Wood, of course, is also going to be doing Robotech, which he'll be doing a signing for in a few weeks. Brian Wood's books are always infused with such great characters and a really cool series. Gotta love Rebels, focusing on these free and independent states, some historical fiction. I know that there's often a demand for books that kind of tread some unfamiliar waters. This is definitely that book. You get it, treading water? It's a boat with sails. You gotta love it. Come on, work with me. Then, of course, we've got the brand new issue of Batgirl featuring this stunning Francis Manapul variant cover. We've got the standard cover here. Really cool series from Hope Larson. Troubled Waters. It seems like water is the enemy this week. Very murky, very creepy. Really cool. And, of course, the Batgirl book firing on all cylinders. Then we have the Rise of the Demon story continuing in Dan Jurgens' Batman Beyond. Really cool series. Really great. Of course, if you're a fan of the original Batman Beyond animated series, this is the book you need to be checking out. Terry McGinnis facing off with Ra's al Ghul. Of course, Ra's al Ghul, an immortal, can last around for decades and decades, fighting many, many Batman. Really cool. And I got to show off this sick variant cover by Dave Johnson. Love his covers. Love it. Then we have the brand new issue of Detective Comics. Detective Comics this week featuring Zatanna. That's right. Zatanna has been gone from the spotlight for a while, and it's really cool to see her brought into this current storyline that is revealing some of the history of Azrael and the church cult that he was grown in, that he grew through and has rebelled against. Now we get to see them striking back, and Zatanna is being roped in. What's the one thing Batman can't do? Magic, of course. Makes sense for Zatanna to be involved. Here we have one of the most talked about books of the week, of the year, to be honest. I am amazed at how much love we've been getting for Batman Elmer Fudd. It has already completely sold out online. So both variant covers, this cover, and then we've also got this fun, more animated cover. The book has been selling like crazy. If you want to pick it up, you're going to have to swing by one of our stores because it's already gone online, like I said. Let's just flip it open. We've got Tom King working with Lee Weeks, and it's such a cool series. Really fun one-shot. Of course, Looney Tunes and DC have been playing along with one another all month, and we get to see Elmer Fudd on the hunt for Bruce Wayne. Really cool. We get to see Silver St. Cloud, a side character of the Batman mythos that many people haven't seen in a while, and it's really great just to see a dramatic interpretation of Elmer Fudd where he's really awesome and really bringing it to Batman. God, I can't believe I just said those words. What a weird world. What a cool book. You got to check it out. Then we've got the newest issue of Batman and the Shadow. Of course, this is written by Scott Snyder and Steve Orlando with some stunning art by Riley Rosmo. There's a really cool splash page in here I do want to show off. Let's see. Of course, Rosmo does such a great job drawing the Shadow and Batman. If you read Night of the Monster Men, he did some of the work with that. Really cool art and does some great splash images here. And, oh, I don't know if I want to reveal all that. Maybe not. Let's just stick with that first one and take a minute to adore that page. Batman coming in to kick in the Joker's head. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Then, speaking of Batman, we've got a wonderful Batman 66, Wonder Woman 77 crossover. It's really cool to see Batman a few years later. Of course, the whole world mourning the passing of Adam West, but he does live on through the books. We get to see a really fun story where it's Batman a little bit older, of course, because it's 77 Wonder Woman, and they're facing off against Ra's al Ghul, a character who didn't even exist at the time of the original series. So it's really cool seeing how they handle him in that mythos. And the return of Disco Wing. I love Disco Wing. Everybody should love Disco Wing. Nightwing in his original costume is great. I love it. Look at the collar. Just look at that collar. It's perfect. Then we've got the brand new issue of Blue Beetle by Keith Giffen and J.M. DeMatteis. Really fun. Scott Collins on art. Really great if you're a fan of some of the older elements of the DC Universe and the greater mythos. You can even see here on this cover, we've got Dr. Fate, we've got Blue Beetle, and we've got OMAC. OMAC, of course, a classic Kirby creation. I always love when OMAC pops up, and with the celebration coming up this summer of Jack Kirby's 100th birthday, really great to see some love for one of his trademark characters. Of course, we've got Flash number 25, featuring a whole variety of artists. We've got Carmine DiGiomenico, we've got Ryan Sook, and Neil Googe, and all of it written by Rob Williamson. Really cool. I'm sorry, Joshua Williamson. Really cool series, and it's great because Flash travels throughout time, running across on the cosmic treadmill. We get to see an entire exploration of his history and his history with the Reverse Flash, Eobard Thawne, who has reemerged to rain havoc on his life. And I'll tell you, that last page is quite a reveal, and I can't say anything about it because it would spoil the whole book, but that last page definitely going to have some major repercussions for Barry's life. Moving through, we've got Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern's Corps, number 23 by Robert Venditti and Ethan Van Sciver. We've got the brand new issue of Hellblazer. Loving this cover by Tula Lote. Really cool series. And another DC Looney Tune mashup. We've got Jonah Hex and Yosemite Sam. That's right. I mean, I can't make this up. This is one of the most ridiculous things you'll ever see. Yosemite Sam, Bugs Bunny, Foghorn Leghorn, and Jonah Hex in the Old West. Let's take a flip through and see some of that really cool storytelling. You would never expect to see such a realistic rendering of these old school characters. Really fun, and for fans new and old, it's great. It's a one-shot. You'll automatically love it. I guarantee it. We've got the brand new issue of Justice League of America this week. Justice League of America, of course, has been focusing on a lot of these really cool characters from the DC cinematic TV productions, and it's really great. The Man from Monster Alley continues. Really cool to see how they've been using this often neglected cast of characters with Vixen, Lobo, the Atom. I love it. I'm so happy to see it continuing. Then we have the brand new issue of the Kamandi Challenge. I love the Kamandi Challenge. It is one of my favorite books DC is putting out, and it's so cool because it's got such a great hook. Every issue is written and drawn by a different artist. As I mentioned, it is Jack Kirby's 100th birthday later this year, and to celebrate the legacy of one of the most prolific creators in all of comics, it's been really showcasing off his creations. I will show off this one page, not for the squeamish, just saying. Absolutely devastating status quo for Kamandi. How could he possibly make it through the day when he doesn't even have a heart? Awesome, really cool. We get to see Steve Orlando, and we get to see Philip Tan doing a dark horror issue on the Kamandi Challenge. So much variety with the series. And of course, in the back is a letter from last issue's creative team on how they would have solved the conundrum Kamandi currently faces. Then we've got the brand new issue of Mother Panic and the brand new issue of Suicide Squad. This is really cool. It follows up on the past Suicide Squad story that showcased, I don't want to say exactly what it was, but unfortunately, someone suffered some dire consequences as a result of General Zod attacking the team. And we get to see the follow-up. Here we do see Stefan Sedgwick stepping in on the art. Of course, he is the new Aquaman artist, and he's pulling double duty, doing 2 books in 1 month, showing off some of that art. It's so incredible. I have loved his work for years, and to see him really gaining a higher profile, he draws a gorgeous Harley Quinn, such vibrant action, and really cool layouts. If you see here, Harley Quinn jumping around, and we get to really see her actually showing off some of her maneuverability and acrobatic ability. Love this book so much. And look at that Killer Croc drawing. Awesome. Love it. I actually have been super in love with the Suicide Squad book. It is, I think, one of my favorite Suicide Squad runs on ever. It's a favorite of mine. Then we've got the brand new issue and the conclusion of Supergirl being super. Of course, it came out every other month, 4 issues, a lot of fun stuff. Really great seeing Supergirl get some love from Mariko Tamaki and Joelle Jones. Big fan of both creators. Love Lady Killer for Joelle Jones and This One Summer for Mariko Tamaki. Then we're going to take a look up and see some of these really cool collections that have come out. We've got Buffy the High School Years. Then we've got ElfQuest, as I mentioned before, and the newest volume of Usagi Yojimbo. Gotta show that off. 31 volumes. Usagi going strong. Gotta love it. Then we've got Dark Knight, A True Batman Story, the paperback edition. If you guys read the original graphic novel by Paul Dini and Eduardo Rizzo, or if you missed out on it, this is a great chance to pick it up at a nice, low paperback cost. Then we have over here, this is awesome. This is the DK3 Master Race Collector's Edition box set. Now, don't be misled. This is only actually the 9th issue in the series. This is the conclusion. If you've been buying the deluxe edition hardcovers, they will all fill out this image with their spines and create one overall awesome presentation. Such a nice edition. Really cool. And I really love that DC thought this through and planned ahead and put out a wonderful, wonderful product. Then we've got the first volume of Batman Beyond from the brand new Rebirth series. This is really cool, featuring some great art. Dan Jurgens has been killing it on the book, and it's really great. This actually, for anybody who read some of the Forever Evil stuff with Batman Beyond, it was a bit more of an unconventional status quo. This is the Terry McGinnis you know and love in his world. Really cool, and we get to see the reemergence of the Jokers, the gang, of course, that has always plagued New Gotham. Really love that book. Then we've got Batman by Brian Azzarello and Eduardo Rizzo. Of course, Brian Azzarello, the writer of DK3, The Master Race, along with Frank Miller, and Eduardo Rizzo. They've worked on a number of books together, including Moonshine and 100 Bullets. This is a collection of their Batman works, which includes work from Wednesday Comics, as well as a fun story that takes place right after Hush, where we get to see some spotlight on Killer Croc. Really great. What is this? This is only a $40 hardcover for a nice, oversized edition of out-of-print material that has never been collected in this format. Definitely recommend checking that out. Then we have the first volume of Cave Carson Has a Cybernetic Eye. I've talked about it before. It's my favorite title for a book. Really cool series. Really great from John Rivera and Gerard Way, with art by the always incredible Michael Avon Amoing. Really great series. Then breezing through, we've got Flash Volume 9 from the New 52. If you were waiting for the paperbacks like me, this is the conclusion of the New 52 series. Then we've got the third paperback edition of Action Comics and the first hardcover. That's right, DC is going to be doing a number of oversized hardcover editions collecting some of their prestigious titles. This is Action Comics, and it collects, what is it? I think 12 issues of the series. It collects 957 through 966. And Justice League number 52, which focused on Lex Luthor, setting up this book and the status quo. Highly recommend the series, and it's a great hardcover edition. This is only $35, and you're getting like 13 comics in it, right? No, you're getting 12 comics. 12 comics, great. You can't argue that, though. You cannot argue that price point. even cheaper than the already low price of a lot of these Rebirth books. Bringing it back down to the weeklies, we've got the newest issue of Action Comics. God, it's like there's action everywhere you look. And it's such a cool book, really cool. We get to see the Superman Revenge Squad featuring Cyborg, Superman, Metallo, Eradicator, all facing off against the Man of Steel himself. Can he survive against the might of his most powerful foes? Well, that's what makes him so super. Gotta check it out. Love the series. We've got the brand new issue of Teen Titans from Ben Percy and Koi Palm. This is really cool because it follows up on the fallout of the Lazarus contract storyline, but also places a lot of time on Aqualad, which is really great because he's only recently joined the team, so seeing the spotlight given to him here is much beloved. Definitely check this out if you're a fan of the Young Justice series, because we get to see, I won't say who, but we get to see some characters pop up that are definitely important to Aqualad's lineage and his role in the DC universe in this book. Really recommend it. Some more Wonder Woman love. We've got Wonder Woman 77 and Bionic Woman. And we have Wonder Woman issue number 25. Check out this amazing cover by Jenny Friesen. This is the end of Greg Rucka's run on the character for the time being. You never know with Greg. He's come back before. Maybe he'll come back again. Really got to love what he has done with the series since the beginning of Rebirth. 25 issues, so many cool stories, and it all has been leading to this moment right here. Perfect. I mean, I can't think of a better way to describe his run. With Bilquis Evely and Liam Sharp on art, this is something you cannot miss if you are a fan of the character and looking forward to her future. Then we have the new issue of Astro City from Kirk Busiek. Love it. This Alex Ross cover. Always cool. Alex Ross's covers are, I mean, come on, he's Alex Ross. Do I even have to go into detail here? Love the guy. Then we've got the brand new issue of Lucifer, and right here we've got the signed edition of Jimmy's Bastards, signed by Garth Ennis and Russ Braun for us. This is an exclusive edition with Terry Dodson cover art. Really cool series, really fun. It's a great James Bond. It's kind of like a James Bond-esque story, but you know how James Bond is always flying around gallivanting and kind of, you know, having his fun with the ladies. There are repercussions in Jimmy's Bastards. Got to check it out to see the hilarity that ensues. Then we do have the first issue of the brand new series, Beautiful Canvas, by Sammy Cavelli and Ryan Lindsay. Really cool series focusing on a young mother who is a former mercenary assassin and how she has to try to run and escape the hysteria of her life. Definitely got to check this out. If you're looking for a new indie book that you want to read, Black Mask, #1, boom, right there. Then we've got The Power of the Dark Crystal from Jim Henson's mind. Archaea has been putting out a lot of really cool books focusing on these old Jim Henson movies. Of course, I'm a huge Henson fan. Love the Muppets in particular because I'm totally biased. But if you're a fan of his world and his creations, Power of the Dark Crystal, it's a no-brainer. Then we have from Titan Comics, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo being adapted. This does say Hard Case Crime, which means it's one of their crime-driven series. It's their sub-imprint of the company. Really cool. You got to indulge on some noir stories every now and then. Of course, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo has seen multiple movie interpretations, a beloved film franchise, and novel franchise. You'll want to read on that to see a cool take on a noir story. We've got the newest issue of Street Fighter and Darkstalkers, issue number 3 of a very fun series, fan-favorite series for those who like the fighter genre of video games. We've got the brand new Secret Weapons #1 from Valiant. Some incredible covers here. And, of course, a blank with an awesome layout, which could lead to some really cool things. If you like going to cons and getting sketches done, you got to pick up blanks. I know I have a back catalog of like 50 of them, just in case I go to a con, whatever you need. Secret Weapons is a really cool series from Valiant. Valiant always puts out incredible books, and you always want to pay attention because they are always planning things in advance, so who knows where this story can go. Then we have Exo Manowar, issue number 4 of the new series. I love it. I love it. XOXO. How can you not just have fun with this series? Really cool. definitely. Actually, I'm going to take a flip through this. It's got Doug Braithwaite art, and Braithwaite always delivers. Of course, he did Justice a few years back, which is a really fun, beloved series. Incredible art, so much detail, and so much depth to the world of X-O Manowar. It is really impressive to see what Valiant has done with the character in the course of the last 5 years. Then we have the first issue of Clue. That's right, Clue, the board game, the comic. You gotta check it out if you are a fan of the game or if you're a fan of the movie like me. I'm a huge fan of the movie with Tim Curry. I immediately lit up when I saw that they were doing a new comic book of it. So cool. Then we've got another fun movie franchise that has had a lot of success in comics, Ghostbusters. Of course, Ghostbusters 101 is the crossover between the Ghostbusters Answer the Call and the original Ghostbusters franchise. Here we get to see everybody posing as if they were the Breakfast Club, and it's really great to see a crossover between the two universes, something that maybe we'll see one day in movies, but if not, we can indulge on the comics. They've built up such a world in the Ghostbusters comics. I am impressed on a daily basis with how much they can pack into 20 pages of an issue. Then we've got the brand new issue of G.I. Joe, a real American hero. Gotta love it. I grew up watching a ton of G.I. Joe. Big fan of the G.I. Joe franchise and love seeing it flourish. Then we've got Haunted Horror. These are really cool. They're reprints of some of the old horror comics. Flip that open just to see some great vintage comic book love. Really great if you're a fan of some of the older material. Then we've got Gem and the Holograms #1 Infinite. It is a new series from Kelly Thompson, who does write the regular Gem and the Holograms series. If you're a fan of that, this is a great way to continue that. It's got art by two different lovely artists. We've got Stacy Lee doing the first art, and we've got Jen Hickman on the second half. Stacy Lee, of course, did a lot of Silk and a number of books for Marvel, so I always keep an eye out when I see her name. Jen Hickman's no slouch either. Really putting in some great work, really fun series. Gem and the Holograms is a great property, and I love seeing it get so much love. Then if we continue down, we've got the first issue of Cull Eternal, and then we've got Saucer State. But I just realized that I want to take a step back, and I want to highlight a couple of the indie books that did come out this week. I've got a couple of them set off to the side. They didn't make the top shelf, but they definitely are top shelf in my heart. We've got the brand new issue of Jughead. Jughead by Ian Flynn and Mark Waid, with art by Derek Charm, who will be doing the new Star Wars Adventures book for IDW. It's such a cool series. Jughead has been so much fun. He was always my favorite of Archie and the gang, and I really appreciate what they do here, especially this part right here where they do a riff on Afterlife with Archie. A really, really, really great series that I completely recommend. And I love seeing them have some fun and really play with the darker elements that are potentially there in the Archie universe. Really great series. Mark Waid just jumped on a couple issues ago, so it's a really great opportunity to indulge on the series. And of course, I gotta mention WWE issue #6. Such a cool book. Dennis Hopeless has been doing an amazing job with Serge Acuna on art here. Always a lot of fun. And the last issue saw Brock Lesnar fighting against Dean Ambrose with like a monster truck. And it's really great because you kind of get to see the things that even WWE can't afford to do. Really get to see the spectacle of it and get to spend a lot of time with the wrestlers behind the scenes. Really love the series. Great art. Always a lot of fun. And in the backup feature for this issue, we get to see some spotlight on John Cena, who did just celebrate 15 years in the WWE yesterday. 15 years of ruthless aggression, 6 issues of WWE, incredible series. It's going to be at a trade paperback soon. Really easy to jump into. If you're a fan of the wrestling world, you got to be reading the WWE comic. It's great from Boom Studios. Really big fan of it. I even wore my Budio shirt for it. So then as we continue down the wall, we get to Saucer State, which is, of course, a sequel series to Saucer County. Really cool series. Show off a couple of these different covers by Paul Cornell. He has really poured so much of his love for sci-fi into this. Really great to see how aliens fit in with our world. Then we've got the Star Trek Next Generation Mirror Broken series, where we get to see the next gen in the Mirror universe. Really cool. Show off some of these covers. Love this series, and it's really great to see that Star Trek has had a dedicated presence in the comic book world. Then we have this terrifying cover of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, issue number 71. I'm actually mildly disgusted in the best way possible. I think it's so crazy to see what they are able to do with this book and the depth of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle universe. Really like that. We're going to take a pop-up, and we're going to see some of the other great collections. The Wonder Woman 100 project, I cannot speak highly enough of. It is a gallery of a bunch of different artists who have contributed their art to the Comic Book Legal Defense Fund and to the Hero Initiative. That way they can really help out comic book creators. This is a great book, goes to a great cause, and it's only $13 for 100 pages of amazing, amazing books, amazing art. Definitely, if you're a fan of just seeing a showcase of the art, low cost point, great creators. I mean, look at those names. You've got John Cassidy, you've got Alan Davis, Adam Hughes, Jose Luis Garcia Lopez, all these great people, and classic creators like George Perez, who have such an affinity for the character. Highly recommend it. You gotta give some love. Then we've got the Absolute Y the Last Man. Super crazy, huge edition. Super awesome. Y the Last Man was my introduction to Brian K. Vaughan, and I love what he can do with the creator-owned world. Y the Last Man is one of my favorite independent series ever, and it's great to see it get the absolute treatment. Then we've got the first volume of that brand new X-O Manowar series I mentioned before. If you want to indulge, it's the first few issues, and it's got additional art that was never before seen. Valiant puts out incredible trade paperbacks, and keeping with tradition, Valiant Volume 1s are $9.99. Low cost, easy to get into. Give it a shot. You got to get in on the Valiant properties because they're going to be doing a lot soon with both movies and web material that's going to be coming out. Then we've got some classic G.I. Joe being reproduced here for the first time in years. We've got a really cool cover by J. Scott Campbell, and this is some of the original G.I. Joe material. Really great. I love seeing these awesome characters come to life. We're going to keep going down. We've got Black Sinner and the hardcover of AD After Death from Scott Snyder and Jeff Lemire. Really great edition. Really nice grain to the book. Like it's an actually high-quality book. It's $25, collects the entire series, and it was such a popular book. An oversized hardcover only makes sense. Then we have the complete Astounding Wolfman. Now that's a fun one. That's a really cool series from Robert Kirkman. If you've never checked it out, it's great because it's self-contained. That's the whole thing. It's complete. That's it. Complete collection. You got to check it out because Kirkman can do these long, epic mythos. It's fun to see him do something more condensed. Then we've got the latest and greatest Chew Smorgasbord edition. Gotta love it. John Layman has done such an incredible job with the book with Rob Guillory. Really cool. Rob Guillory actually does the backup features in some of the WWE comics focusing on the New Day. Fun fact, if you want some cross-promotion there. Then we've got Postal, Volume 5, and Octopus Pie, Volume 5. Really fun series. We're going to swing down and we're going to take a look at some of these great books from Image and IDW that are coming out. We've got Transformers, The Lost Light, the latest issue of that, issue number 7. As I said last week, the Transformers books always put out really great art. Really cool series if you're a dedicated fan of the property. Then we've got the return of Black Magic from Greg Rucka. You wonder why he's leaving Wonder Woman. It's to pour his heart and soul into Black Magic with Nicola Scott, who, of course, worked on Wonder Woman with him. It only makes sense for this Titanic team to put out a high-quality book. Really great. Has some a black and white aesthetic, and they only use color sparingly when it really gives you a punch. Really bold use of color in the series. Really great book. Love it. Image Plus magazine came out this week because it is the last week of the month. That does mean it's a previews week, so the Image Plus previews a lot of the new books that'll be coming up from Image Comics with in-depth interviews. Always a big fan of that. We've got this amazing Dustin Weaver book. Of course, if you remember, Vic was raving a couple weeks back about Dustin Weaver's art. because he always puts out really cool stuff. That is trippy in itself. That is something I did not think I would see today. Two worlds fused to one another. Maybe let's take a flip through and see some of this incredible work by Dustin Weaver, who's such a phenomenal artist. He's done some really cool books and really has had a lot of fun. A couple years ago, he did a Spider-Verse tie-in with Gerard Way that I really liked. And definitely check it out. Dustin Weaver's an amazing artist. There's so many great artists in the world of comics that we're really, truly blessed. Then we've got the new issue of Redneck with some really great covers. And Donny Cates, of course, is putting out the series. He's on the rise. He's doing great. If you like the God Country, check out Redneck. The newest issue of Renato Jones is here from Kerry Andrews. He does the entire book. Every single thing in this book is a Kerry Andrews product. Really cool. I loved Kerry Andrews a couple years ago, did Iron Fist, The Living Weapon. If you want to check out some cool books from him, then you got to check out what he's doing with Renato Jones. Of course, Saga's out this week. Saga's a big fan favorite. Gotta love Saga. Brian K. Vaughan, Fiona Staples. Just adore that cover art. I'm afraid to even flip through it, though, because God knows what can happen in the pages of Saga. I don't want to ruin it for anybody. All the potential, all the great stories that they have. We've got the newest issue of Shudder over here by Joe Keating. Really cool series. Gotta love it. Gotta love this cover art. Images, covers are like next level. Of course, it's a great series, and it's cool to see it really getting a lot of life out of it. 29 issues is a great run. It's easy to pick up, too. You can just pick up the trade paperbacks. Image Volume 1s are $10. So if you want to check out Shudder, check it out. Then we've got the director's cut of Spawn, #1. Now, you're not seeing double. This did come out a couple weeks ago, but that sold out so incredibly fast that they've rushed another printing of it. And this one is shiny. I'm a big sucker for seeing a nice, shiny, gold, prestigious edition of the original Spawn. Of course, McFarlane doing his best job to replicate Ultimate Spider-Man #1 on his cover here. Really cool series. Spawn, of course, has a brand new issue, 275. There have been 275 issues. So for some contrast, you can start here, or you can check out the newest issue, number 275. What a great run. It's been going for 25 years strong. If you really haven't checked out Spawn, you got to give it a shot. It is always doing a great job. It's been so consistent for all that time. The newest issue of Wayward by Jim Zub is here. Really cool series from Image, focusing on a lot of Japanese history and mythology. I'm a big fan of it. I hope you're a big fan of it. If you're not, try it out. You never know. Then we've got Marvel, and Marvel's having a big week. They've got a lot of books for Secret Empire coming out this week, starting with Occupy Avengers. It's great to see this smaller moment where we get to focus on Hawkeye as he is in the wider scope of the Marvel Universe, especially with such a prominent role in Secret Empire. Of course, the brand new issue of Black Panther is out this week from Ta-Nehisi Coates. Really cool. Show off a couple of these different covers. This one's really great. This is the McKelvey cover. And there are other covers, but maybe we're selling out of them because the series flies off the shelf. It's so popular. If you saw the Black Panther trailer and you are beyond hype, you got to check this out because Black Panther is about to become a superstar character. You want to read his book. Coates has been doing an amazing job from day one. Then we've got the newest issue of Mighty Captain Marvel. You see this wonderful Mary Jane cover by Chris Samney. Here's the standard. Really cool book. This one is focusing on the shield wall that is keeping the entire planet at the mercy of Hydra. Can Captain Marvel and her crew save the day? Tune in to find out. Really fun series, and it also focuses on some of the younger characters and how they perceive the threat of Hydra. Deadpool vs. Punisher, issue #5, comes out this week. I'd flip through, but right here it says parental advisory, not for kids. That's right. If you were looking for a hardcore, no-holds-barred fight between two of the deadliest in the Marvel Universe, Deadpool, Punisher, check it out. Look at this incredible cover by Ryan Stegman. So cool, and you just know that Punisher is going to abuse Deadpool's healing factor. We've got the brand new issue of Defenders, issue #2. If you checked it out a couple weeks ago, then you know that this is a book you're going to want to check out. Brian Michael Bendis himself stopped by because he was so excited for the book. He had to come in and see how it was doing. Everybody's loving it. Really great with art by David Marquez. I actually like this. They even show you the characters' names on the top. I love this cover by Marquez. Really cool series, and we get to see a foe from Luke Cage's past reemerge and devastate our cast of heroes. And how will they ever recover? Read and find out. Read it. Come on. What's stopping you? Then we've got Doctor Strange and the Sorcerer Supreme. Of course, Doctor Strange isn't the only Sorcerer Supreme. There have been many throughout time and space. This book focuses on those other magicians along with Doctor Strange. Really cool book by Robbie Thompson. Definitely something you're going to want to check out if you enjoyed the movie a few months back. Then we see the conclusion of the latest Elektra series, Running with the Devil. The Devil's right there on the cover with her. We get to see Elektra and Daredevil. I never realized how much their outfits color coordinate now until I saw this cover, and I think that's great. I like the little things like that. That's fun. I also love this cover. We get to see some great profiles of a couple characters, Typhoid Mary and Kingpin. Just who could possibly be the biggest threat in Elektra's life? You got to read the issue to find out. Really great series. Then we've got the second issue of I Am Groot from Christopher Hastings, showing off that Mary Jane cover. That's so silly. It's Mary Jane as Groot. I can't believe I just said those words, but it's really cool. Julian Tedesco does a great job with the cover art there. Really fun series. If you're looking for something more lighthearted or something to hand off to the kids in your life, I Am Groot is a great book that anybody can pick up. If you're looking for more Guardians fun, All New Guardians of the Galaxy Annual is out this week. Right there on the cover, you see him. Yondu is back. Yondu has been plaguing Star-Lord since his early days as a child. We get to see how he factors in with Secret Empire. That's right. The Guardians are looking for help. They need somebody to help save the Earth as they are trapped beneath the shield wall. This is really great, and I actually love the continuity of the books here because we really get to see the full range of Secret Empire in these different tie-ins. And if you're not reading Secret Empire, it's an easy book to jump into. It is an annual. It is completely standalone. Play with this world of great characters and concepts. I love it. I'm so happy to see that the Guardians are getting great books. Then taking a look up here, we do have some superb collected editions this week. We have The Last Days of Magic in paperback edition. It has previously come out in hardcover. Doctor Strange Volume 2, really cool series. Then we've got, this is great. This is the original Fantastic Four run of Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, one of the most monumental runs in the history of comics. This book had the longest run of an artist and a writer for 50 years. They did 109 issues together straight. And you get to read all of those great early adventures with Namor, the Fantastic Four, the early adventures of, let's see, how far does this go? Do we get to, this is right before we get to see the Inhumans. We get to see the original stories that featured Kang before he was even Kang. And we get to see some of the early stuff with Apocalypse. All of these major characters have their roots in the Fantastic Four. I love the property. I love getting these nice epic editions. Then we have Fool Killer, the entire series in psychotherapy. If you are a fan of Deadpool, maybe looking for some variety, this is a great chance to see one of his side characters get the spotlight. Then, of course, we have the new Ghost Rider, Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider. If you have been tuning in to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. on ABC, you know that Ghost Rider is the hottest thing going right now. Really cool series. Four on the Floor. It's actually a really playful homage to an old Fantastic Four story. Fantastic Four, you see? Had the original Hulk. It was originally Hulk, and it was Iron Man, and we get to see the modern-day interpretation of that storyline where we get to see X-23 as the all-new Wolverine. We get to see Totally Awesome Hulk, and all these incredible characters popping up in the world of Ghost Rider. It's devilishly good time. Love the series. Then we've got Great Lakes Avengers, the entire series, a really fun book that I had a lot of fun with. Great Lakes Avengers is really silly, and actually I like this. On this first cover, we had Squirrel Girl on the side because they are traveling with a cardboard cutout for a Squirrel Girl for some of the series, and it's really fun. The newest volume of Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, we are really loving the series here at Midtown, giving it our full support because it's so fun to see a young girl who is so interested in science and has a pet dinosaur in her life. Of course, it's blown up, and now the character of Moon Girl is featured in a number of different books. She's even in Secret Warriors. She is in a team book. The character is so great, but you got to check out her solo adventures to really see what's up. Then we've got the entire series for Prowler that tied in with the Clone Conspiracy. And then we've got some classic Spider-Man goodness with web spinners. Really cool. This is the entire series. Great 90s Spider-Man fun. Then we've got the second volume of Thunderbolts. This was all building up to Secret Empire. So if you're looking for a book that can really build up your anticipation, maybe you're a trade waiter, maybe you haven't checked out Secret Empire, but you want to know what book you should be reading, definitely check this out. You can see young Kobik right there, the Cosmic Cube incarnate herself, standing beside Bucky and Deadpool. That's right. This included the celebration of 20 years of the Thunderbolts. Really cool series. Really great concept. One of my favorite concepts Marvel has. Then we have Thanos Volume 1 from Jeff Lemire. Really cool series with Mike Deodato on art. If you like Cosmic, if you are excited for the prominence of Thanos in the coming years, you got to check out his book to see what's up. Then we have a reprinted edition of Totally Awesome Hulk, issue number 19. That was building up to Weapons of Mutant Destruction, which did come out last week for part 1. And part 2 is here in issue 20 of the series by Greg Pak. We get to see the crossover between the Weapon X facility and Amadeus Cho himself. Hey, look at that. There's one of our ads. Really cool series. Really fun. And I love that it has gotten so much press. And I'm excited because Marvel did just show off some of their covers for the Marvel Legacy books. And we see that in the fallout from Weapons of Mutant Destruction, down the line, we will be returning to Planet Hulk. I can't wait to see what could possibly be building up to that. Greg Pak is doing an incredible job with the Hulk. I really enjoy the series. Infamous Iron Man, issue number 9. We get to see how Riri Williams plays into the world of Victor Von Doom, the devastatingly, the devastating Dr. Doom. You got to enjoy a bad guy who just is unafraid of who he is, and really trying to embrace his current status quo. Flipping open to a random page, we do see that the Thing is in this book, and it is following up on some plot threads left lingering from Secret Wars a couple years back. While the Thing is hunting down Dr. Doom, of course, he is also trying to find Reed and Sue of the Fantastic Four. I feel like I'm saying the Fantastic Four more than I have in ages. It's great. Then we've got the newest issue of Moon Girl, Devil Dinosaur, and, of course, the new issue of Punisher. We do have Chris Anka jumping in on art for this issue. I'm a big fan of Chris Anka. Always love his art, and I love the preview art that we've seen for the Runaways series. And this is great. I also like cute little things like that. Anka always infuses his art with some nice details. We get to see Punisher drinking out of a Nelson and Murdoch mug. That's cute. I like that. That's what builds a world. Then, of course, something that's definitely not cute, we have Secret Empire issue number 5. A whole bunch of different covers here. We've got the Mark Brooks cover. We've got the Dan Mora cover. We've got the Andrea Sorrentino cover. Such a cool book. Oh, and right here, why not show off the John Tyler Christopher action figure cover. Secret Empire has been building up this lingering plot thread of who is the mole in the Resistance. In this issue, we find out some really important information that will impact our heroes moving forward. We get to see a great spotlight on Wakanda and the world of the Black Panther, and it's really great. I've really been enjoying the thrill ride that is Secret Empire and finding out just what it will take for our heroes to conquer the day and try to stop Hydra. Really great series. If you're not reading Secret Empire, we have all the issues. It's been a lot of fun and a lot of really cool ideas that I've never seen explored. Then we have the brand new issue of Spider-Gwen, of course, with the Spider-Gwen-verse version of Wolverine, who has recently emerged, taking on a horde of ninjas. I love when we just get lovely cannon fodder ninjas popping up in the books. It's really cool to see. Then we have some True Believers that are out this week. Over here we have, look who it is, Spider-Man. Of course, Spider-Man Homecoming coming out next Friday. Everybody's excited. It comes out on July 7th, our 20th anniversary for the store. Spider-Man Homecoming is a big deal. Really excited to see how he plays in with the greater Marvel Universe. And here you get to find out his early adventures with, you know it, Fantastic Four. I'm not crazy. They really are that great. Then we've got the brand new issue of Spider-Man. So we've got the first, we've got the latest. Amazing Spider-Man issue number 29 ties in with the Secret Empire storyline, and we get to see how the new Superior Octopus factors in. Of course, the reemergence of Dr. Octopus can only mean danger for Spider-Man and his world. Dan Slott. All right, our communications feed was hacked by Dr. Octopus. He heard us telling us way too much about the secrets inside of Amazing Spider-Man 29. Dan Slott and Christos Gage put out an incredible book with Stuart Immonen on art, following up on all the plot threads that have been building with Parker Industries, with Superior Octopus. You really should be reading this book if you are excited for the movie coming out once again next week. Then we have a reprinted issue of Miles Morales Spider-Man number 1. This is the Miles Morales series that started the entire connection with him in the mainstream Marvel Universe. We get to see how he factors in and what his role is. Really fun book. Love the series. I'm really glad it's only $1. That's dirt cheap. You got to pick it up for $1. Then we've got Ben Reilly, the Scarlet Spider, the newest issue. Of course, we see Kane, the Scarlet Spider, and Ben Reilly, the Scarlet Spider. So much Spider-Man craziness that goes on in his world. I mean, only in the world of Spider-Man can you see a clone fighting another clone. Come on, that's great. That's fun. That's the beauty of comics. Then we've got Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man, issue number 1, featuring the Tarantula. That's right, the Tarantula, one of my favorite silly gimmick characters because he's got these giant needles on his feet. A deadly foe for Spider-Man. Really cool to see that this is being reprinted as well in the build-up to Spider-Man Homecoming next week. Then as we continue down, we've got Dr. Aphra, issue number 8, continuing the Screaming Citadel storyline. Really cool book. Gotta love what they've done with all the Star Wars properties. When we last left our heroes, we were talking about Droids Unplugged, and then we were unplugged. Oh no, what a world. We need our own R2 unit. For the time being, we'll settle for this amazing comic that is collecting some of the great adventures of the different Star Wars characters. Then we've got the brand new issue of Poe Dameron, of course, from Charles Soule. Really cool book. And Edge of Venomverse. Gotta talk about that. Gotta showcase some of that cool art. Edge of Venomverse, great series. Characters being venomized for the first time ever. Then we have the newest issue of Cable and Jean Grey. If you are a Summers fan, this is a great time. The Summer of Summers. Come on, it writes itself. Gotta love it. And of course, for some more X-Men goodness, the newest issue of X-Men Blue, following our team. Of course, that is right on the cover. Jimmy Hudson teaming up with our time-displaced heroes. How does he factor in? How does the Ultimate Universe play into the current X-Men status quo? You got to read the issue to find out. But that's going to wrap it up for us here at Midtown Comics. Of course, it's been a great day. Check out some amazing comics and swing by and have some fun with us here.